Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Adrian here. Hey, welcome back to the channel and to the Black Desert Online post-stream vlog for week number 4. So I'm gonna go through everything that I did in the past week leading up to last weekend's stream, and I'll share some thoughts about the week ahead and what my plans are, and just some overall thoughts about what I've experienced so far in Black Desert Online Southeast Asia, which I've spent almost a month playing now. And trust me, if you guys have been following all the streams and the last vlog that I put out last week, you'll know a lot has happened, and there's an evolution of, knowledge gain and being introduced to systems and taking advantage of the mechanics along the way that I've already talked about. So if you're new here and you're wondering what the earlier thoughts and opinions and experiences are, then hey, there's a playlist that you can check out for all the BDO leveling streams and the past vlog as well. There's links everywhere, so go get yourself caught up and then come back to this vlog, and we'll talk about everything that's happened. So let's start by talking about week 4, and to be honest, compared to the past 3 weeks before that, I didn't really do too much in Black Desert Online in the week leading up to the stream. I think you guys may have noticed this, but leading up to the weekend, I put out, 5 videos, including a stream, because that's the amount of content that I've kind of missed because I've spent so much time in Black Desert Online. So the last week was focusing a lot on the crafting, because that's what I was going to show off on stream. So I was getting my crafters up, which was my warrior, a separate character from my wizard, which is the main leveling and review character. And I got a bunch of his life skills up until the skilled rank, and that's for gathering, and gathering is going to be super important for BDO down the line, because that simply means you'll reduce the decrease of durability of your life tools, your gathering tools, the higher your gathering rank is, which is really handy, so you don't need to continuously keep going out and buying tools whenever you go out to get those raw and rare materials and whatever. Processing is another one that I've got up to professional 4 now, I think, which is decent, because that simply means whatever raw materials that I got from the gathering, when this character tries to process it and break down those raw materials to get something valuable in return to put into the crafting houses and whatever, I'll get more yields, and I've already talked about that. The other one would have to be, what's the other one? Cooking, basically. Because I've got an army of NPC workers that do the crafting in towns, so I've been, on average, making a batch of about 1,000 beer every week. So that whenever I'm on, I don't have to worry about replenishing stamina for these workers. I have a large batch of beer that I can just use, and everybody's happy. So, I mean, when there's a large batch of beer, regardless of game or real life, everybody's happy, right? The other thing I was doing was leveling up a kunoichi, which I actually started in week number 3, but I forgot to talk about it. But, I carried on leveling the female version of the ninja class into the last week as well, because the thing with the BDO, I'm not sure if this is the same across all the versions of the game, but every time there's a new class that's got introduced, there's a level up event, which, if you hit certain milestones, get this new class level 11, then 22, and then 33, 44, 55, whatever, you get milestone rewards, and some of these includes the black armor and weapon stones that I talked about on stream that are super important for upgrading your gear, and you get all these cool little rewards that I saw was kind of a good incentive to try another class. So I did level up my female ninja, the kunoichi, until level 48, I think she's now at, which gave me a good perspective about the other side of the what BDO has to offer in terms of a melee class, because the wizard obviously ranged, and I've been playing him the most. The warrior that I have is kind of melee, decent amount of AoE attacks, but the ninja is kind of different, because there's a lot of chain type attacks, very, very fast execution of skills. Movement is also a lot more faster than my warrior, so I do enjoy seeing the various different classes that BDO has to offer. And again, that all comes down to the combat. I think the combat system in here is just great, and I feel like whatever class I play, the decision whether I like it or not will come down to the combos and the animations, or that kind of thing. But the system overall, the combat system overall, is 2 thumbs up. Absolutely brilliant. So besides those 2 things, not much really. I mean, I tried to get my wizard from like 53 to 54, but that's going really, really slowly. Again, I was working on a lot of videos, didn't have a lot of time to play, and what progress I made, kind of lost some because I died on stream, obviously, and we'll talk about the stream in a sec. And then yeah, that's really it. I was just trying to get my wizard into Medaya, the east side, so I can unlock more of the knowledge and energy, and start investing in Altanova, which is the capital of Medaya, so I can get more workers there and invest more in the well, I wouldn't say end game, but almost the very high tier of raw materials, and I'll talk about that now. I suppose let's get into a recap of week number 4's stream. Basically, a lot of crafting, a lot of upgrading. Look, it was a 3-hour stream. The first 2 hours, I didn't even fire a single shot from my staff or execute a lightning skill, because 2 hours I spent just talking and showing you guys how the crafting works, how upgrading gear works, and I'll share my thoughts in a bit. But let's start off with crafting. Very time-consuming process with regards to starting out with the life skills and then getting the final result out of a craft house. These two things are kind of tied in a relationship, that you have to pour a certain amount of time into both of them to get them up to a level where you can efficiently craft something, especially if you want to do it in a mass production scale, whereby you'll want more of the same item if you're planning to upgrade. So that's what I did on stream. I did get a armor house in Calphion, an armor workshop, to craft a Grunil armor. And Grunil armor, for those of you that do not play BDO, is one of the most sought after armor sets in the game so far, simply because it has 2 empty crystal slots on each of the armor pieces, from the head, the chest plate, the gloves, and the boots. So as every class will have a use for it because of the stat bonus as well. If you have 2 equipped, that you get plus AP, and then the next tier of the set is max HP, and then the final tier is more AP. So you can see why a lot of players are like, okay, that's a decent set to have while you wait for something better to come. And keep in mind that BDO Southeast Asia, we're behind on all the other versions of the game. So in terms of what we have now, in terms of a good leveling or a good benchmark pre-boss gear type thing, the Grunil armor set is pretty highly coveted. So I have gotten the workshop up, and I've begun starting crafting that Grunil armor set. So in stream I was showing the entire process, kind of how to get that and how to start. And a lot of the work was done in week number 3 actually, because for a piece of Grunil armor that you want to craft, one piece from the workshop, you have to get the individual ingredients for that one piece. So for example, that could mean, let's just say if you want to craft a bunch of them, that could mean maybe 30 fine tough hides. And that's just one ingredient out of a list of like 5 or 6. So where does the fine tough hide come from? It comes from drying tough hides. And how do you get tough hides? Tough hides come from pig hides. How do you get pig hides? Pig hides come from skinning and tanning wild boars. So there's a chain of pre-craft house life skill stuff that you need to do from your processing. So you gather about 200 wild boar skins, whatever, then you dry that down into about 100 or so tough skins, and then you got to dry that again into about 50 fine tough skins. And the thing is, you can't just do that as a new player just processing up. Processing do have knowledge requirements, which means that it also ties to your rank. So if you are at rank maybe 20 in your processing, you have to go do the processing quests to get the beginner's knowledge for drawing, and then a more skilled knowledge for drawing, and that is how that ties into getting the finer endgame type materials that you need to start crafting the endgame type gear. That's a lot of work, it's a lot of commitment, and I've already spent that time in the past couple of weeks to get that knowledge, to get to a point where whatever I was doing, whether it be tanning skins and then drying them all the way up to fine tough hide, I was getting a certain amount of decent returns in my processing yields to make that worth it. So how do you do that? You have to spend the time skinning to increase your gathering, and then doing the processing as much as you can to level up your processing. So you're getting a lot more in return. So that's that. The next thing I showed off on stream is obviously the weapon upgrading system, the gear upgrading system, and I showed off the enhancements for armor. Oh, and to recap what happened on stream, it's just I did share my thoughts about it. The whole thing where you bring up your black spirit and you put the stones in, then you put the armor that you want to enhance, and the first 5 level of enhancements are free, which simply means there's no risk of failure. It's a guaranteed success. For weapons, it's the first 7 levels, and each level of enhancement increases the DP, which is the defensive power, or the AP if it's a weapon, the attack power. So there's a definite benefit of doing so and doing it early, especially if you're about to hit level 50. You obviously want to enhance your armor to get it to the safe spots. So all your armor at +5 enhancement and all your weapons at +7, which are the safe spots. And then once you get to post 50, the more you play the game, the more you go eastward into Madaya. A lot of the mobs have their AP and DPs immensely increased from whatever there is in the west side. So like for me, when I first brought my wizard over, I was getting my ass kicked, and I had to use the escape button, the designated fly away from danger button, so many times, because the difficulty curve from Calpheon to Madaya, huge. The game kind of expects you, without telling you too much, it kind of expects you to be at a certain gear score checkpoint. It doesn't tell you that though, but you do see it on the map. Some parts of the Madaya map will tell you that this little area where all these mobs are for players that have 100 to 180 AP. Very vague. It doesn't even tell you the DP. So in your own mind, your own estimate, you got to think, okay, so I want to have maybe 120 AP, 100 DP to be a bit more viable, and this is more true for the light type armor classes, the squishier type classes. So you want to make sure that you keep your gear enhanced as you move forward. And the thing about that too is we are Southeast Asia, we're getting updates almost back to back now, every bi-weekly, or there's always going to be some content update. And I know they want to catch us up to the other versions of the game, but in doing so, the player base has to keep up, or else like guys like me who are kind of like casual in a way, because I'm more doing it for a review these days, right? I'm not necessarily looking at, I'm not going to jump on the enhancement grind that everybody's on to and then go make my way east. I made my way east anyway without even upgrading my gear, just to see if I could do the story and everything. But the problem is the questing is kind of tied to all the monsters in the area if you're progressing your main story, so you're going to be doing a lot of killing, and that's when you'll see that gear check wall. Are you good enough? Or if not, then you got to go back, and then you are forced to start the gear upgrade grind. There's no two ways about it. You want to quest, you want to kill stuff in Madaya, you have to get into the enhancement grind. So I said on stream, that's one of the grinds that BDO has. One of them in the quest design is obviously killing things. The second one is this gear treadmill of constantly getting armor, black stones for armor and weapons, and then constantly enhancing your gear. Which, by the way, if you fail an enhancement attempt post +5 levels or +7 levels for weapons, you get a fail stack, and then the max durability of the item you're trying to enhance gets reduced by -5 or whatever. So whenever you want to up that durability again, you have to go and repair, which consumes the same type of weapon and armor. So that in itself is a grind, because you're farming. If like for me, if I'm enhancing a Grunil helmet, I'm gonna need about 20 to 30 other Grunil helmets in the bank, because when I start getting it +2 enhancement, enhancement 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, I'm gonna need a whole bunch of other Grunil helmets to repair and increase that durability again, which is why the fail stack is in place, because the more you fail, the higher your fail stack. So when you come back on a character that has a very high fail stack count, you can have a better success rate at enhancing a higher, enhancement level gear or whatever. So I explained it pretty thoroughly on stream, so you guys can just fast forward to that part where I show you guys that. Or the alternative is to go and watch other YouTubers that are more knowledgeable in this aspect of upgrading BDO gear more than I am, because I'm the new player here. Keep that in mind. Other people have been doing this for years. So that's basically what I did on week 4 stream. Tried to go and do a little bit of crafting too, but that was a major fail, simply because I tried to take a shortcut and got killed on stream. Oh yeah, which finally happened too. I died on stream, which I was trying to do for the past stream, I think, because at level 50 PvP unlocked, but didn't. The thing about it is, I'm on channels where I think the players are, if there isn't a reason for confrontation, nobody flags for PvP and fight, especially if like someone's solo or anything. So I haven't really got PK'd still, but I did die in stream, so hey, that's something. And that's basically it, guys. I mean, my thoughts so far from week 4. I'm at a point where I'm logging in and I'm trying to keep my Grunil armor stats going, because where I'm at now with my wizard is his DP is very, very low to be questing in the Medaya area, because in the past I could just take on like 10-15 mobs and just zap them all. In Medaya it's different. You take on too many, you're gonna get hit, and the way the enemies are designed is, in the previous zones they just stand there and take it in the face. In Medaya they come and surround your character, so when you try and dodge left or right, you can't get out, and they hit pretty hard as well, which is why I want to try and get my DP up to about 100 and 110 before I continue questing. So that's what I'm trying to work on this week. Trying to get my armor up. I haven't really been doing too much with regards to crafting, because that's kind of time consuming, and I've got my warrior to a point where I think, okay, this guy can produce what I need for the time being, but if something better comes along, or if I get more time to up something else, I'll do it. Other than that, this week for BDO, hey, I've already started the review process. We're already writing the script. I have seen stuff, I've got opinions, and the faster I get that down on paper, the fresher it is, I suppose. So that's it for me, guys. Hope you guys had fun during the stream last weekend, and I'm not gonna give a final count on how many streams I want to do for BDO, but I think I've got 2 more in me, or 1 more in me, but I'll keep you guys updated as we get closer to that. I just want to try and see and do as much as possible. Again, Southeast Asia, we don't have everything that's out on the other versions, and I can't really spend the time waiting for all the updates to come into this version, then I do a full review. Not feasible for me, simply because of time and what I have planned for the channel. That's how it works. I plan around the channel and what people want to watch, and what's going on moving forward, more than anything else. So hey, that's that. And that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the week, or are having a good week. So hit the like button if you like video, hit it the dislike button if you don't like video, and if you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate the support. And yeah, that's it from me. So once again, Adrian here, and I thank you guys for watching. Hey, welcome to the end screen. If you've made it this far, it means you've watched the entire video, and I thank you very much for that. If you want to watch more videos, you can click the cards at the bottom here, anyone would do, and you can subscribe to my channel by hitting the big round button here to get notifications on all my latest videos. See you guys in the next video.